Hey there, Attack on Titan fans! Welcome to another episode of the Attack on Titan After Show on AFTERBUZZ TV. Tonight, we are talking about episode 36, Charge. It is the episode where internal Berthold screaming becomes external Berthold screaming. Stay tuned.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin!
So much screaming. Oh, and we got the light show going on right now. I know you guys who are listening on iTunes can't tell, but our wonderful engineer Neil is hooking us up with a light show right now as we listen to the theme.
Which we really super appreciate.
Yes.
I love light shows. Y'all know this.
I do too. It's so much fun. Hey there, Attack on Titan fans. How's everybody doing tonight? Tonight we are talking about episode 36, Charge. Neil, don't you dare stop that theme. You let it play. Let me go ahead and introduce my fantastic panel. To my left, Katie Cullen.
Hi, my buddies. You can follow me all over the social medias at Kiaxet. That is Kiaxet. And to my right,
I'm Megan Salinas. You guys can tweet at me at the Menguin. That's TheMenguin. Sadly, both Alexis Torres and Emma Fife could not join us tonight. Obviously, we are still in the middle of our rescue mission to save them from Titans. None of them have been
eaten by Titans yet. They're kind of in the other part that we're going to conjoin with when we get on top of the armored Titan, so don't worry about it.
Yeah.
They're scouting corps. They're not military police. They'll be fine.
Of course, it's very important to take a break while you're on a rescue mission to host a podcast. So, like, priorities. They get it.
Absolutely.
But you guys can follow them at atorres890 and at Emma Fife on Twitter. And we are also going to be keeping an eye on the hashtag ABTVTitan for those of you keeping an eye on who like to send us awesome, wonderful things on Twitter. You guys are fantastic. And for those of you who are watching live, we are going to have you on the live chat in just a moment. But before we bring you up on the live chat, we actually do have a few things. First and foremost, as always, no manga spoilers, folks. Just as a heads up, we know that Katie and I have read this portion of the manga, but sometimes the show, as we saw last week, likes to pull stuff from way in advance and just drop it in the middle of the episode. And also, our other co-hosts, even though they're not here tonight, they have not read the manga at all. So please, no manga spoilers in the live chat or in the comments of this video.
Or on Twitter. Y'all are pretty good about not putting them on Twitter, though.
Yeah, usually. Although we have had a couple things where it comes a little close, and it are people who tweet us just a little bit too early on Saturday. We get it. You guys are enthusiastic, but specifically for you guys. To that
end, I actually want to say thank you to Andrew Fedge for tweeting us to ask if we'd seen the episode before sending us something. So, you're amazing. Thank you.
Thank you, Andrew. And also, again, just as a reminder, too, for those in the live chat, you also might be ruining it for people who are just watching the show as it's progressing and watch our after show week to week. As it's progressing. So you guys are really doing us a big favor by not dropping any spoilers. Honestly, I know it's tough. Believe me, we've been there, but it really is important not to ruin the experience for other people. So thank you guys so much. And again, thank you to Andrew, but not only thank you to Andrew for double checking with us, thank you to Andrew for sending us a wonderful little video.
I've spent about 3 hours today playing Overwatch. I freaking love Overwatch. And so play of the game parodies are some of my favorite things. And he sent us this. Not the
most graceful play of the game.
Well, no, but I've had play of the games where I was asleep.
And here's where it's at.
Eliminated Berthold.
Yes. Go Irvin. Oh.
And just lands on the horse. Lands completely perfectly on the horse.
Neil,
because he's Irvin.
Neil, what was the name of the YouTube user again who uploaded that video?
Here it's uploaded by someone named Akasan.
Akasan, well,
That's
again,
AKASAN.
video created by Akasan, or maybe just uploaded by Akasan, and sent to us by Andrew Fedge. Thank you so much. That totally made my night.
We also have a graphic from Washington 30, who sent us the Savage Awards, which I really super appreciate. This is, good Lord. Do you have it up, or do you want me to read it? Because the text is kind of small.
You go ahead. You go ahead.
So we have the Savage Awards from Attack on Titan, Episode 11, Season 2. #1 Savage Award 2 seasons in a row goes to Mikasa. The MVP Savage Award goes to Irvin. And the Low Down Dirty Savage Award goes to Armin.
Which, having read this, I can tell you, Armin, the description for Armin's is priceless. So go to our hashtag ABTV Titan and check that out. Did you want to read it? I'm sorry.
I don't think I can do it justice.
Do you want to try?
No, I'm too white.
Let's see. Well, I've got enough Valley Girl in me that I might be able to do something. So, what's the game plan, Berthold? You just gonna go back to Homeland, chill out, hang up that Mr. Rogers sweater you got on, while your comrade/boo thing left alone with my homies. Yeah, you're right. I can't keep I can't keep the Valley Girl accent doing it.
I can't do it justice.
Doing ungodly things to her, like torture. Hi, I bet you right now, if you put your hand on your ears, you can hear any screams way over there. He's not a son of a bee, but son of a devil. Your boy, Armin. So that...
And just right before he makes that decision, just the look on his face, like it's half grin and half... What has my life become?
This is like that was the official, like, there's no going back look on Armin's face.
It's like, well, we are flipping this switch. So, by the way, did you know that Annie's getting tortured? Like, really super tortured. Like, crazy tortured. Like, they are making up new forms of torture and testing them on her. And they're seeing how it goes and they're refining them. And then they're just doing more torture on top of the torture because, well, yo, dog, I heard you like torture, so we tortured in your torture so you can torture when you torture. Like, we went that far.
Does anybody kind of worry that, I mean, all of our characters are really young, but we obviously they're growing up in a harsh world. They are young and they are soldiers. They are legit soldiers at this point. I look at Armin and, you know, I see a good-hearted kid who does his best, who's absolutely brilliant. But there is this, for lack of a better word, sort of savage edge to all of our characters when they hit their breaking point. And I really do kind of worry, like, if we had, like, a time skip, that Armin would become, like, a mad scientist, like, when he grew up, right?
Yeah.
Like...
And for our age, yeah. Oh, Armin was absolutely lying. Annie is cocooned.
Oh yeah, like, no, they can't touch her.
Yeah, she's in that little Titan crystal skin thing. Like they are unable to get to her.
Again,
but the
she
easiest
went full
way
Neo Queen Serenity.
Oh, absolutely. But it's also like, hey, that person you have a complete obvious crush on, they're getting really super tortured right now.
And it's so funny, too, because he doesn't need it pointed out to him like Reiner has to do for the audience. Reiner, you know, a couple episodes ago had to be like, hey, you know, like, when this is all done, you should totally ask her out.
You know that relationship we never established at the beginning? It's established now.
We're establishing
Next episode...
Although, again, with the little clip, the little flashback clip that they showed us, I do kind of want to go back and rewatch certain portions of season 1 to see if I can catch those sort of longing looks. But because I'm sure they're there, much in the same way that, you know, very early on when Aaron's getting questioned about what the Colossal and Armored Titan are like, we get a very convenient shot of Reiner, you know, that sort of thing, with his back turned. So yeah, I definitely, to kind of get back to Armin, I would definitely love to see, like, I don't know, I feel like he could become a villain at some point if push came to shove.
He is one of those people where if you break him the right way, he could absolutely be a horrifying villain. And it's the moral center that's keeping him on right now, but he is smart enough to just wreck people.
Yeah.
And it's not only book smarts, it's people smarts.
Yeah, he knows exactly what buttons psychologically to push to hit, Berthold's berserker button. Like, and again, just from having made general observations, he was the one that also noticed that Annie was carrying Marco's gear way back when, and was the one that was able to piece together that she was a Titan, and it was definitely his eyewitness accounts that basically verified that Reiner was the armored Titan as well. So it's like, this is a guy you want to watch out for, and he doesn't get nearly enough credit for how smart he actually is.
Oh, yeah. I feel like they wouldn't have been able to put together nearly as much as they have were it not for him.
Yeah, absolutely. But again, that is a guy you don't want to cross. Talking about if he ever got to his breaking point, I don't know. I think it's just because they're both blonde, but I'm reminded a lot of when Catra was broken in Gundam Wing, and he just went off the deep end there for about 10 episodes. Maybe
There's a
5
trope
episodes.
called Break the Cutie.
Oh,
And
that's an awful trope.
Well, it happens a lot. But just, yeah,
I could see that happening. Point being, though, if that does happen, I see that more being like a further on, like way down the timeline.
Oh, yeah.
We are still in the middle of this one insane day.
It's been a bad day for, like, everyone.
It's been a bad day for everybody. Like, Krista, when she gets coughed back up, like, she has this moment of just, like, a look on her face that's just like, what is it? And we keep
Well, that
forgetting,
was unpleasant.
And we keep forgetting it has been 24 freaking hours. Maybe coming close to 36 if we're talking about from, like, the very beginning of, like, when they were out, like, just still playing chess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just, good lord. And let's talk a little bit about Krista and Ymir. Ready to wander over into that territory?
I think so. I did want to start off with Irvin, but, like, let's talk Krista and
we'll get there.
We'll get to that. Krista and Ymir. So, like, I feel like they've been the center of things for the last few episodes. For sure. They've definitely been the emotional driving force for a lot of things in this show. And the strange thing is like, anytime they're back together, I go back and forth on whether or not I think I can trust Ymir. Like, and we know at the very least that in her heart of hearts, she, in some way, shape, or form, loves Krista. But as a person, at least this is my interpretation, I think she thinks she's so unworthy of love and is so disgusted by her own selfishness that, like, she lies in this moment to get Krista, like, trying to get Krista to hate her, even though, like, all she wants to do is be with Krista.
Yeah. And just this, it has to be this way. It has to be like this. I'm sorry. And it's like, and Krista is just riding the Ymir train so hard that she doesn't see that this is a hilarious bald-faced lie up until towards the end of the episode where it's like, nah, the only time Ymir actually puts effort in is when you're involved and when you're in danger. That was absolutely a lie.
And even with the lie of, like, hey, I killed their comrade and stole his powers, which also, sidebar,
might be the
we
truth.
need to talk about, but
might actually be what happened. None
stole
of us are
powers
really sure.
From one of their comrades. They're gonna have me killed once we get back, but they promised me if I brought you that I could live, so please save me. All Krista needed to hear is, they're gonna kill me, please help me. And she goes, okay, yeah, I'm here to help you. I'm on your side, buddy. I've said it like 3 times. I'm on your side.
And I just love Berthold in the peanut gallery going, it's like, oh, well, they threatened me. And he's sitting there going, yeah.
Other way around.
No.
Not at all. Not even remotely true.
The
Not
clever
true.
Shakespearean aside that actually was an aside because Krista sure didn't hear it.
That's a soliloquy.
Yeah, it's just, good lord. And Krista was just so sucked in by that the harsh reality check from Connie going, no, she's really lying to you. Like,
Yeah, and it also shows kind of how desperate Ymir is too, because she made a choice and has to stick with it. But like when presented with Krista going, "Hey, let's go back. Like we're here to rescue you. Come on, come on." Like she can already tell. She's like, "I probably made the wrong call there." But she has to kind of stick with the choice that she made because you have Berthold going, "Come on. Come on. You can't just wimp out on us now. That's not cool.
You
Opposite
may
of
have
cool.
gotten us all killed. You are in it with us." He's leaning very heavily on a sunk cost fallacy there.
I am really sad that the abridged series is no longer going to be continuing for season 2. I understand completely why, but I would have loved to have seen this exchange in abridged form.
we need a bridge, Berthold.
Oh, that
And
would be
his
the best.
internal screaming.
Which we should probably talk about that too, because that's although I do want to kind of gauge not only from the audience, I do want to gauge. I would normally ask the entire panel, but obviously it's just us. So I'm gonna ask you, Katie, again. At the end of the day, can we trust anything that Ymir says?
Oh, absolutely not.
But
No,
is it
there's
just-
not a but.
No but about that.
Absolutely not.
I think that's fair. I feel like we can't necessarily trust what she says.
Well, she
And-
can't trust herself.
Yeah.
How the hell are we supposed to trust her if she can't trust herself?
I feel like we can trust her to do what she feels in any given moment is the right thing to do for Krista. However, she clearly has made some errors in her judgment calls.
Oh, absolutely.
So that's my official stance right now is she can be trusted to do what she thinks is best for Krista at any given moment. That survival instinct that's just getting her from point A to point B, throughout her entire life, that has now extended to Krista, despite what Krista actually thinks is also best. And also, she's also actively, again, because she actually feels guilty about taking away Krista's future, also feels like she isn't worthy of Krista's love. So that's a huge
Chad
bummer.
agrees with me. I want to try. I love her, but I can't trust her.
Trust her is about as far as you can throw her in her Titan form.
First of all, RA says you can trust Ymir about as far as Reiner can throw her. Are we talking Titan versus Titan? Because Reiner, we've seen Reiner do some Titan tossing, and it's
I was gonna say
new Olympic sport.
Although it is funny because we did get to see earlier this season Mikasa toss Reiner at one point, so it's kind of funny to see him toss Titans.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, so yeah, let's. Before we talk about Berthold real quick, maybe it's a little too early to do this, but before we talk about Berthold, I want to talk to you guys really quickly about iTunes. Folks, thank you so much to everybody who's gone to iTunes to rate, subscribe, leave a comment. We love hearing from you, and it is the best way to let our producers know that you guys like the show that we're putting on. It keeps the lights on here at the studios, keeps us at these fun little desks, and if you guys do leave a comment, you may even get a shout out on the show. And I have some pulled up right now.
I forgot my iPad today, so I'm useless.
But you're a lot better at keeping an eye on the live chat.
That's true.
I have a terrible problem with multitasking, so I thank you and Emma and Alexis for being way better at it than I am.
Well, you're driving the bus. That's basically, you're driving the bus. That's your job.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate you giving me an out. Thanks.
I play support characters for a reason.
We've got
I got you.
Some Girls Yelling by Joey Segura.
Which, bless you. Just
You are so sweet.
bless you.
5 stars. Awesome panel of super fans. This is definitely one of the top 10 AfterBuzz panels at AfterBuzz. You ladies do an excellent job of breaking down the episodes and giving your individual perspective of the events that go on in each episode. I'm such a fan of all your after shows that you are all on. Yuri on Ice, SAO, Supergirl Flash, Arrow, Collider TV Talk, and Marvel Movie News and DC Movie News on Popcorn Talk. Keep up the great job. By Reflex 123, we have Punderful Katie.
Yes.
Sorry, Megan, but I have to congratulate Katie on her quick-witted puns, even if I also join you in the boo seats sometimes. I love you all. I also really enjoy that you all just love to include your thoughts on what Reiner and Berthold, Aaron and Amir, etc. are all thinking. I vote, okay, suggests that during the final after show of the season, the panel should eat Rice Krispie treats with the same verb and determination that Armin and Mikasa ate those rations when Hannes inspired them to find Aaron. Come on, it'll be fun and tasty. I don't think I have that much determination in my entire being.
I don't have that much
eating those
determination for
rations.
Rice Krispie treats.
I do like Rice Krispies. Maybe if they were Fruity Pebble crispy treats.
No. Send me a Black Forest cake, guys. Come on.
You want actual cake.
I want actual cake.
But they have to be hard, crispy things.
I will cut a square piece of cake and eat it with verve and gusto.
I'm sure you will. Best host by Bonfire. I love the combo of all my favorite hosts from Voltron. On this podcast, the best way to laugh at horrible puns, and Megan's current heartbreak over Reiner. P.S. Emir is my favorite because of the way she acts. What's your guys' fave? My favorite, obviously, is still Reiner. Katie, do you have a favorite?
Oh, Sasha.
Oh, isn't she great?
She's the best.
She's so good.
She's the best.
Brightens My Day by Wilkins75. I don't normally take part in the live shows because of my work hours / time zone differences. I download the new show every morning before going to work. It has gotten to the point that my coworkers know I am listening to an after show because of the smile on my face or my quiet laughter to myself at my workstation. This likely making me look slightly insane from the outside, but I don't care. Judging from the hosts, which I tend to get no matter what AfterBuzz show I start watching from, I am in good company. Makes long overtime days better. Give it a try. You guys, oh, that is so sweet.
Oh, you're wonderful.
And
that's also why I'm not allowed to watch Critical Role at work.
I listen to tons of podcasts at work. I feel you on that one for sure. And the final one, yes, A Bunch of Ladies Screaming by Panda Hero. Oh, you guys are so great.
I love the salt that you all have. Just this low-key, good humor salt.
You guys are
Bless
so
you all.
wonderful.
Salt of the earth.
This podcast brings a nice input to the story, and the host's knowledge of the series is commendable. I started listening to this podcast more of as a way to remember what went on in the story, because honestly, I'm not even watching the anime, and I am loving it. I'm not even watching the anime, and I am loving it, and I feel like giving the anime a try. I'm reading the manga, and I'm not sorry, but I'm having so much fun listening to your speculations, especially after finding out Megan's love of Reiner, that Megan loves Reiner. Oh, also, in answer to that previous mean comment, a bunch of very smart, intelligent ladies can fangirl and scream while also making good commentary on a show. Might I add, they are not all white, as if that should be considered bad anyway. You rock, Panda Hero. You are my hero. Even if you did laugh at the, oh, Megan doesn't know.
You've known for years, though.
I
You
have.
got spoiled.
Which, it doesn't make the heartache any yeah, it's fine. Well, let's not go into that.
We should record us watching this last episode.
I don't know
Just
if anybody
the
needs to see me in
commentary.
that state.
We do reaction videos for a reason.
Yeah, but again, thank you guys so much. It mean, like I said, highlight of my day. You guys, it means a lot to us. And again, it shows our producers that you guys like hearing about anime shows.
You're wonderful human beings, and we adore you.
You guys are
also,
the best.
if you leave a review in Google Play or in an iTunes store that is not the American iTunes store, we have a little trouble finding those because there's a lot of iTunes stores. So if you did the thing, please screen cap it and put it in the hashtag ABTVTitan, and you will get a shout out next episode.
We have a few
we
people.
do see those, and we do love them.
We have a few people in the live chat mentioning their favorites. I think that's Art Barrow, Armin is Life. We've got the young Genin Sasuke. The young Genin Sasuke. Sorry, guys, I think I need glasses. Saying Levi and Irvin are my faves.
Trenton Dixon, a little further up, we scrolled past, it said, Sasha is love, Sasha is life.
And we've got one person, it looks like Blake Belladonna. Good old Blake! Saying that they're with Megan, Reiner is their favorite. I like it.
Y'all just like pain.
I think if you're watching the show, you like pain.
You just like
Speaking
pain.
of, let's talk about Berthold.
I would say, for the most part, like, if your favorite character is a side character, you're usually safe. But Marco, so no,
Not in the show. Not in this show.
Not in it. No one is
So
safe.
let's talk about this scene with Berthold, because again, we get to
Renji's favorite is Sasha, and they did a potato emoji.
we got,
I like you.
Oh,
I like
that's
you a lot.
fantastic. So let's talk about this scene with Berthold. Because not only do we have this moment where he's kind of getting to his breaking point when Krista and Ymir are having their conversation. He's probably like regretting all of his choices. Mikasa immediately starts to attack him, and he has to hide behind Reiner's armored hands. And he's still through the cracks, seeing that death glare bearing into his soul.
I need a gif of just this like 2.5 seconds of him inside looking at Mikasa's death glare from the outside, and then the camera flipping over Mikasa's shoulder to look at him terrified from the inside. Like, I just need a gif of that 2.5 seconds, because that is the best I am going to die gif that I've seen in a while.
And Mikasa is just, she's at her breaking point in terms of giving any F's about anybody else besides Eren.
She literally said, "I'm out of patience and I am out of room in my heart to care." And I'm like, yes!
Yes.
You have filled up your monkey sphere and you are done.
Yeah. It's kind of amazing because and she's had so many people get in her way, and at the start of the episode too, she's like, I'm not going to hesitate this time. I'm not going to hesitate to kill anybody. Because she probably blames herself quite a bit for not being able to actually murder Berthold and Reiner, because she had that just momentary bit of hesitation.
I mean, it wasn't for lack of trying. She slit Berthold's throat.
But the thing is that we clearly see that it was seeing their faces that made her hold back, even if it was just ever so slightly.
Yeah.
Because they're her comrades, or they were. And so, like, she's getting to that point where having that compassion in her heart, she's like, throwing it right out the window because it meant losing Eren. And she's like, they made their choice 6 years ago, and Krista, if you're gonna pick Ymir over Eren, then I'll probably get rid of you too. So that
she does hesitate for Krista. She doesn't for Ymir.
No.
But she does for Krista. And it's like, that was your chance. That was it. That
Ymir
chance.
kidnapped Krista, so it was
true.
Clear. But Krista jumping in, that's another surprise. And she's probably at the point of like, why do people keep getting in my way today? It is the worst. But we have this moment where all of the cadets are somehow got up onto the armored Titan. And they all get a chance to talk to Berthold and Reiner.
Just let Eren go. He's annoying. We can beat him up together. It'll be great.
Finally, John. Which it was very interesting seeing everyone's kind of input on this particular issue. Connie and Sasha are like, how can this be a thing? Sasha actually says, tell us it's a lie, even though she's riding
Reiner
on the armored Titan. Like, at that point, it's tell us it's a lie that you're traitors. Like, you have to give us something. We all lived together for 3 years. We were all under the same roof. Come on.
And Sean was talking about Berthold's weird sleeping positions. Like, I used to try to predict the weather by them. I'd make bets to see what position you were in when you woke up. Like, and I'm just like, oh God, it's all of this really tiny little personal stuff that is just murder. Because these are very, it's like, okay, they've been friends for forever. They trained together for a few years. And we see the larger parts of that. We see, okay, they know how to work together. They've learned together. They've learned from one another. But it's those little teeny details in these interpersonal relationships that are just like, oh yeah, you only pick up that stuff when you've been with this person for forever and a freaking day.
Again,
so it's like your weird sleep positions, your habit of eating potatoes, your this, your that. Just everyone knows everyone else's little quirks,
little
and just,
idiosyncrasies. Yeah. Which again,
just bringing it up like, hey, remember this funny thing that you did? I remember this about you. We've been friends for a long time.
And sidebar, Jeremiah Winslow says that Reiner should join the New York Giants. I did think that like his move when busting through those Titans was, I was like, he should have played rugby. Like, forget all this Titan business. He should have just been a rugby player.
That was a very good shoulder tackle in football.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, like
I think Not sure if I'm allowed to say it, but I'm going to anyway. Kian Garner in Soviet Russia. Holy fuck, it's Mikasa. Run, run.
Yup.
That was beautiful, and I love it. Thank you.
Yep. That sounds about right.
But being a little more on point, Studio Court saying, Emir said, save me, and Berthold said, find us. What does that mean?
Yeah, so we get this, like, finally Berthold gets to the point where he can't take it anymore, and
Do you think we liked killing people? Being soldiers was our respite.
Which explains a lot of why it was probably so easy for them to be bold-faced liars. We know that Reiner's psyche was shattered in some way, shape, or form. But Berthold, I kept going, like the emotional strength of this character is something that is so intriguing, because he not only had to deal with all of this same stuff that Annie and Reiner had to put up with, but also had to watch the mental breakdown of his friend, and is slowly seeing their grip on the situation,
Erode.
Yeah, spin further and further out of control. And here, he's now confronted by everybody he's been friends with for years. And I've always wondered, I was like, you were quiet, but how do you keep up a charade like that for 3 years? And the answer is because it was great for them. They loved being friends with all these people.
We got to have friends, we got to hang out with people. All we had to do was lie about literally everything we are and our reasons for being here, but that's okay. We got to have friends.
But having people to joke with and train with and occasionally teach, like, fighting moves to and things like that. Like, that must have been... And it raises a lot of questions about their upbringing, too. If that was heaven for them, if going to boot camp was heaven for them.
What's it like outside the walls?
What's it like back home? The place they're so desperate to get to.
According to Emir, it's not so bad. Titans have a couple flaws, but hey, once you get past it.
And nobody's perfect. The Titans are going to eat me. No one's perfect. It's fine.
That conversation, I feel like, was one of those, because you see this all the time in fiction, where two people are having a conversation where it's same page, different book. Mm-hmm. And I feel like that's what was going on there. And neither of them really realized it, because Chris is like, no, I'm going to freaking die.
Exhibit A.
I don't think the Titans are going to care. They're going to freaking eat me. And I wonder if Emir isn't hearing that as, like, you're a Titan. I don't want it. I don't want to be with you.
You just ate me. One of the two.
Yeah, if she's not hearing it as an accusation to her and being like, hey, it's not so bad. I'm not so bad. Please don't leave me.
Probably. But yeah, we have the save me versus find me. It makes... What? Did
Kelly
you see
Jones in chat. The entire episode can be summed up in one sentence. Hold my beer.
Emir in this episode.
Bless you.
We also have idiotic flannel, I think is what that says.
Yep.
Emir in this episode was basically hashtag wake me up inside.
Yeah.
But
hold my beer with your other arm. You only got one left. Hold my beer. No, not you. I need that arm back.
I didn't offer it to you.
Beer.
Gosh dang it. This is why you don't offer Titans
I
things.
ate his whole arm, and he was holding a Pabst Blue Ribbon. You don't understand how disappointing that is to me.
I was really hoping it'd be a Guinness.
I'd throw it up if I weren't going to throw it all up already anyway.
No, what a waste.
What a waste.
What a waste.
I mean, it's not a waste of a Pabst, but it's a waste of an arm.
Definitely. But yeah, Berthold makes this entreaty, someone find us, which makes me wonder if there aren't other smart Titans kind of out and about, or if this is like literally just a plea to God, like, come on, give me a break.
Oh no, I am sure their strings are being pulled.
Yeah.
I'm fairly certain that
this is the first time we're really seeing that, like, they have clearly been coerced into doing whatever it is they've done.
Yeah, considering that their goals are just, we want to go home. We want to go home, we want to go home, we want to go home. When we're home, we're done. We want to go home, we want to go home. They are not the masterminds behind whatever plan this is. Someone is pulling their strings. Someone is up there going, dance, puppets, dance, and we don't know who or why or how. But we also still know that Dad Yeager is missing.
Yeah.
Still.
For sure. And Berthold also, he says, like, we didn't want to do this. We actually do consider you our friends. None of that was a lie, but someone has to be the one to do it. Someone has to get their hands, dirty to do this. And it's like, but why though? But,
yeah, you just kind of want to do the idiot sandwich thing and go, why?
But why though? Why do you feel that? Who's making you do this? Who hurt you, Berthold? Who hurt you?
Same person that hurt Reiner and the guy that he married, who's Marcel and Annie.
Speaking of,
go ahead, eat the French guy.
We know that Ymir is lying in this episode when she's, goading Krista, who, by the way, Krista gets her first kill in this episode, saving Ymir, which is just so precious.
That's two first kills this season.
Yeah, good for her. Good for her. She was in the top 10, but, like, we clearly see that, she didn't necessarily earn the top 10, but we clearly see that she's talented.
Yes.
Yes. But like, I forget, where was I going with this?
I don't know, but I want to bring this. RA brings this up in chat. Can we talk about how out of it the military police is? Yeah, when you take your people who performed really well 10, 15, God knows how many years ago, and then have them be out of practice, they are no longer your top squad. Functionally, your top squad is your scouting corps because they do this all the dang time.
Can we also talk about how maybe not the most top-notch of the animators were working on that scene where military police guy got snatched up?
Well, just the initial, you're using us as bait, aren't you? That's not my intention. No, but that sure is how this shakes out practically,
You're a bad person, Irvin.
And just that idiot in the middle of battle when there are Titans literally everywhere, crit failing a perception check for one, in the middle of battle where you should be watching your everything, and just sitting there on his horse going, boy, those scouting corps people sure are crazy, aren't they? What? Just nomming him right off the back of his horse, and the horse looking at the camera like he's in the office. What? He was just some guy.
Like, that's when, like, you drop your bag or something and you give a look of, like, I could have sworn I was holding on to something.
Where did I put my sunglasses? Oh, they're on my head.
They're on my head. That was basically the look the horse was giving, just up into the air. Not to mention the other military police guy.
That is the best Gabriel Reyes shrug I have seen in a while. From a horse.
But, not to mention the other MP guy who, like, was standing during the cluster mess, clusterfuck that was that charge, who got knocked off his horse and then was hit by another horse because he was just standing around bewildered, and then got caught by a Titan and thrown into the Titan's mouth.
No, that was two different people.
No, that was the same guy. No, it was a different guy.
It was, dude was standing, got run into by a horse. That horse got T-boned by a horse that had a rider, and the rider got grabbed by a Titan.
You know how awesome that is?
That's amazing. That is some, like, Grand Theft Auto, Fast and the Furious stunt bullshit. But with horses and stupid people.
You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of that freaking bit in Jurassic World where the lady gets, like, picked up by the pterodactyl.
Which gets eaten, Yeah.
It was basically that scene. Oh, Hassan Youssef just sent us the gif of Mikasa staring at Berthold with Reiner in between the two of them. And it's beautiful. Thank you. We also have Idiotic Flannel in the chat saying hashtag RIP some guys too. And we had somebody tweeting at us. Jono on Twitter, that's at J
Blue Eyed Stare, I believe.
That was it. Hashtag ABTV Titan. To all the some guys who lost their lives in this episode, we salute you.
It's beautiful. It's just, God bless some guy. He will live forever in infamy.
Oh, he's wonderful. He's become my new favorite side character. Oh, it was Phil, though!
he didn't.
I'm so sad now.
I could just see that horse. Gather me now, why don't you?
Hashtag that horse had a vendetta. That was on purpose.
But we saw him get knocked down. We didn't see him get eaten. It was the other rider that got eaten.
I'm pretty sure everybody in that scenario
Phil
was dead.
might have survived.
Hashtag
He just
RIP
got a
Phil.
little trampled.
Anyway, to kind of get back, Irvin, despite he gives this awesome speech, which it's always great to act, and since our theme is Shinzo wa Sasageo, it is really great to actually hear them say Sasageo when actually in the middle of the show. We see it whenever they do the salute.
Roll credits.
We see it whenever they do the salute, and it's awesome to see it right before a charge. And this is we talked about this off camera. This is the first time we've seen Irvin in combat. We've seen him be a masterful tactician, politician, he's been a very savvy, interesting character to watch, and we've seen him set traps for Titans. This is the first time we see him in battle, and he gets play of the game with one arm.
Yeah.
And then I will call a little bit of shenanigans, though, when he magically lands back on his horse after slicing through Berthold to free Aaron.
No, you know what that is? That is a very, very well-trained horse.
That is a smart horse.
That is a horse who has stuck with Irvin for forever and knows all the ins and outs of things and is keeping an eye on him in this battle and going, oh, he's over there. Guess I better go over there. Oh, no, he's over there. Guess I gotta go over there. All right, I gotta catch him.
He's been caught by a Titan, and the horse does a U-turn to go and catch him.
Pretty much.
But yeah, can we talk about how badass Irvin is? Because at some point he sliced off his arm, created a tourniquet for himself, got back on his horse,
killed the Titan that got him.
Yeah. Rode back towards the armored Titan. And this is all after getting a horde of Titans to run right into the armored Titan, prompting the whole tackling bit in the first place.
Kian Garner says, reverse Moses. I like you.
Oh, that's funny. And then again, using his ODM gear, manages to get up on the armored Titan and attack Berthold during the one bit where he's actually distracted enough to be hit. Dang. well played, Irvin. Speaking of, Berthold's not dead, right?
I doubt it.
He's probably okay, right?
I'm pretty sure he got thwacked pretty hard, but he's got a pretty good healing factor.
Yeah, and I feel like we wouldn't bring up the whole, oh, by the way, Annie's being tortured thing if we weren't going to have a little bit more of Berthold.
Losing his mind.
Yeah, little bit. And so in this, although kind of a side note, we actually have a bit where Jean actually saves Mikasa, which is always which is kind of nice because Jean was so cowardly in season 1. It's nice to see him step it up in a fight for sure. Anytime he steps it up, it's always really gratifying. But the bad news is she's got broken ribs now. That's bad.
And a concussion.
Opposite of good.
And a concussion, remember?
But you can just I don't know, walk that off.
You can sleep it off.
You can, I'm sure hopping onto a horse right after having been taking a nap and eating some Rice Krispie treats, I'm sure you're good to go after having a concussion.
Yeah, everyone knows that food gives you hit points.
Maybe that's why her death glares are so intense right now. It's because her pupils are dilated from her concussion.
I am in so much pain. Well, she's swinging around, she's doing the spinning move, and her brain is messed up because concussions are when you hit something so hard, your brain
shakes.
thwacks the side of your skull.
Yeah, that's not good. Opposite of good.
So it's really not good.
But with messed up ribs and a concussion, she still manages to catch Aaron right out of the air, like a boss. And but that up until Reiner decides he's gonna start tossing Titans at them.
Titan tossing, your newest Olympic sport. Just good lord.
But
how did he? What?
Then we get to the very last shot of this episode, where we see out of all the Titans in all of the inside of this part of the wall out of all the gin joints in all the world, this one had to walk into ours. And it's the Titan that murdered Aaron's mom. And this is the point, when I got to this point, I was like, you're just being cruel, show. At this point, you're just being mean. This is not cool.
Mikas is so injured she can't get up.
Yeah, and as far as we can tell, Aaron's still in the middle of recovering.
He's still missing his fingertips.
Oof, yeah, that's not good.
Yeah.
I imagine you have to be pretty fully recovered in order to transform. So, yeah.
Yeah.
And again, even if he could, though, like, you have PTSD. I mean, this Titan traumatized the two of them. Like, they might not be able to move even, if they were physically 100%. Ugh. You're so mean, show. Why can't you give us a break?
I mean, there are a whole bunch of people around them, but there are also a whole bunch of Titans around them. Getting thrown places.
Yeah, that's true. You gotta watch out for those flying Titans. Irvin's down an arm. Like,
not that stopped him.
All of the military police are, scrambling at best.
The military police were here because we needed to see some kills in a climactic battle in an Attack on Titan episode, and we didn't want to kill anyone that was actually important.
Except Phil, apparently. Poor Phil.
He's alive. He got a little trampled by a horse. That doesn't mean he's dead.
Keep the faith.
Keeping the faith. Keeping the Phil.
Hashtag keep the Phil.
Hashtag keep the Phil.
But
the notepad's too low. We can't read it. There you go.
Yep, there we go. So, sadly, I think that I could go on and on about how much, I want to continue digging into this episode and into Berthold's breakdown and just who could be behind this nefarious scheme.
But we'd go in circles because we don't have nearly enough pieces to put this puzzle together.
I remember where I lost my train of thought earlier, and that was, even though we know Ymir is lying, she did say because she stole power from their comrade. I think that's true. I think we can probably take that as confirmation that that's how she was able to turn back. Although that's not information that was given to us at this point in the manga. So I'm going to just take that and call it canon. I have no idea, if she's telling the truth or not. Anywho, I think that just about does it for this episode. Katie, do you have any final thoughts before we move into some rapid-fire predictions?
Just dying whale noises and sad Berthold in snow.
Oh, poor baby. All right, let's do some rapid fire predictions.
Your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
What are the odds that Levi's gonna come to the rescue and just fix everything?
Considering that he didn't come on this mission with them and still has a messed up ankle, because keep in mind, he hasn't healed yet. It's been 24 hours.
Yeah.
No.
I think we're gonna see the Colossal Titan in the finale. I don't think Berthold's dead. I think that because we hit his Berserker button, we're going to see the Colossal Titan, which will be interesting if we do, because we've never seen the Colossal Titan in a combat situation before. He's always just
the
kicked
little
the wall.
bit that we saw on the wall didn't really count.
That was more like, nyeh.
It was very
Nyeh.
smokescreeny.
It was. So I'm not counting that. Although it did kill some guy.
Is more dangerous at a distance.
Yeah. I mean, but they have distance right now. I mean, Reiner's tossing Titans at them. So,
I mean, Berthold could probably toss Reiner at them. Let's be real.
I guess the big question is...
Do a Wolverine special.
Oh, that would be amazing.
Except his arms are too little. He'd have to kickball it.
I guess the big question is whether or not we're going to be able to capture them or kill them by the time the season is done, because, end of last season...
Everyone's beating a retreat. At this point, they're just trying to survive. I seriously doubt that any of them are going to try to turn around and capture Berthold or Reiner. At this point, it's like, we have Aaron. That's what we need. That is the chess piece that we could not afford to lose. Get back to the wall.
Spoiler alert, actually, everybody dies. That's my prediction. Everybody dies in the next episode.
It's not like we have a bazillion more chapters of manga. The anime diverts from the manga sometimes, guys.
They just decided, you know what, guys? We made you wait 3 years for this one. It's going to take too long. We're just going to call it here. Everybody's dead.
Good night.
Oh, that would be so sad. Neil, any final thoughts?
Now that I'm thinking about it, I'm not sure. I hope that hope we get a few more words from Ymir, because she's given us the most information
That's fair.
out of everyone this season. I just want a little bit more.
That would
Convenient
be fantastic.
flashbacks are convenient.
That they are. Especially when they pull from later in the manga. All right, I think that just about does it. Katie, where can people go if they want to find you?
You can follow me all over the social medias and on YouTube at Kiaxet. That is Kiaxet. If you like watching more of the shows that I am in, we have Robots in Disguise on Tuesdays. Turn is starting in a couple weeks. That's actually going to be back-to-back with Robots in Disguise, so double feature Tuesday nights. Red vs. Blue every 4 weeks on Thursdays, and I am also a regular on Geek and Sundry's Gather Your Party on Friday nights. That is twitch.tv/Geek and Sundry, Fridays at 7. Life is fun, do the thing, win the stuff.
Again, be sure to follow Alexis Torres at Torres890 and Emma5 at Emma5 to keep up with all of their wonderful projects and such. And I'm Megan Salinas. You guys can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at TheMenguin. That's TheMenguin. I am on a bunch of shows here at AfterBuzz, and I write articles for The Movie Chick. That's Chick with 2 Ks. Be sure to check those out. Be sure to also check out the latest episode of The Shadow Radio Recreation, where I do the voice of Margot Lane. And also, guys, next week is our last episode this season, at least I think. If anybody knows whether or not we're going to get any more after these 12, that would be stupendous. But be sure to tune in next week, because we will have a special announcement about something coming up later on. Thank you guys so much again for tuning in. We will see you all for the finale.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterbuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
External Berthold screaming!
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.